We're here for the finals, and it might be a long one. I'm Todd Tandy Anderson, joined by Ross Merriam. Say hi, Ross.
Hi, Ross.
We got 2 players left in our 105 player standard field. We've whittled it down to 2 decks, but really, they are the same deck. A domain mirror. It's going to take a while, maybe, but I'm ready to watch it and crown us a champion.
Let's go. We got Jesse Hill, we got Jared Malone. Their main decks outside of the mana base are 2 cards different.
Mm-hmm.
We have Lumbering World Wagon and Third Day of Judgment versus Third Temporary Lockdown and Fourth Zur.
All right.
Who do you think's ahead?
Fourth Zer probably would be mine.
I would guess that as well. That's Jesse Hill, who will not be on the play. Jesse Hill, the 4 seed, Malone, the 2. So
Yep.
Malone has that edge at least.
Well, some news. The players did jump the gun a little bit and have already played a few turns, and to maintain competitive integrity,
DQ them both.
we have to DQ them both. Yeah. So who wins? Belfato wins. Belfato's the champion. But the players are just about ready. Or they're already ready. They're playing. So let's just go ahead and watch the finals. And turn 3, Jared Malone has Beanstalk Overlord. This is a great start. Hill has Beanstalk and maybe Overlord as well. So it could be a true mirror.
So, Beanstalk is the #1 card in the matchup. Very grindy, very much about card advantage. So, both players starting out with the Beanstalk, no clear advantage either way. But now, if Jesse Hill doesn't have a good reply to this Overlord, could start falling behind on mana.
Okay, well, we have a get lost for the Beanstalk, so we're going to have Beanstalk supremacy for at least a little while, but we're currently behind on mana. I'm going to head back Malone's way and see how you can capitalize.
Yeah, does Malone have a Zur here to animate the Overlord and press the mana advantage while also putting some pressure on Hill's life total?
Okay, Encounter Souls has Avatar named. All right, I'm going to go back to Malone. A lot of material to play with. We'll see what he wants to apply pressure with, or maybe accumulate resources with. Would love another Beanstalk to replace the one that just got lost. Fixed game count. There are not many players left in the room, so I'm trying to make sure that they aren't able to overhear us. That's why you're hearing the sultry, dulcet tones of my voice. Get lost, tit for tat. Beanstalk down.
Yeah, but Malone is the one with an Overlord, so have to say slight advantage there. See if Hill maybe has an Overlord of the Mistmoors to impend on turn 4.
Would be a great way to start applying some pressure, but these games are all about resource generation. So as you've correctly identified, Beanstalk is the most important, but now we have to get to the second level, and here's that Overlord of the Mistmoors. Maybe Zur next turn. Currently lacking black mana, I believe.
There's a Wastewood Verge on Hill's side,
Okay.
and I believe that's a Lush Portico in the mana base as well.
Could be. Might be a Razor Edge Thicket. It's really hard to tell. But I believe Beachbone is or the black-white one is black on that side, so the green-black one will be green on that side.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, here's some moths. Another Overlord impending. Get another everywhere.
Jared Malone well ahead on mana, but does he have something to really leverage that advantage? Looks like his hand might just be a lot of interactive cards.
Yeah, I thought I saw Analyze the Pollen, so when we get a bigger graveyard, it could come into play. Beza the Bounding Spring hanging out there as well. We can take some damage from these flyers before casting the Beza. Gonna start with a map. Finds a Beanstalk. Probably gonna leave that one on top if I had to guess. Might not even use the map because the land potential is really valuable later on. Nope, values the 1/1 counter, so we're gonna get aggro. Spreading the damage, making them both 3/2s. Smushing in. Oh my goodness. Binding's gonna come down. That's gonna take care of one of these flyers, probably.
And Malone trying to set up for a big Zur turn, it looks like. Normally, Leyline Binding would be saved for a more high-value target, but when you exile a token with it, now you can animate it with Zur and let it rumble in combat pretty freely.
The bindings are also like never really safe in the mirror matches, and so using it to take out a token feels okay most of the time because you can't like get punished when they unlock their Zur or Overlord. Surveils rides into the graveyard. Let's get Rides End on screen. This one is secretly fueling many of these Beanstalk decks thanks to its mana value of 5. The cost reduction is super easy. It's such a versatile removal spell. It also exiles, and man, it just works so well with Up the Beanstalk.
Beza just going to gain life, or will it draw a card as well?
2 cards in hand, I think, so should draw.
Yep.
Okay. And with Ryzen, we can now Pollen, I believe, for Zur, and Jesse doesn't have a way to stop it from the hand. Might be worth using the mana now, but we'll see if Jared wants to use it as like a surprise tactic.
Yeah, it looks like Malone is sitting on 8 mana, so could easily analyze next turn and still have Zur double activate.
Gonna use map tokens as well. Gets a land off the first one. Land off the second one. Flush.
Okay, so plenty of cards in hand on both sides, but Malone clearly advantaged on the battlefield. Does Jesse Hill potentially have a sweeper? That's something that could easily catch him back up against the Zur.
Start off here with Up the Beanstalk and draw. Hedge Maze as the land. We're going to Surveil 1. That's a Sunfall. That'll be good next turn. Gonna put it into the graveyard. Might just be dead to Zur if he's not careful. Maybe just trying to make sure that doesn't happen. But an attack for 3 means that not that scared of Zur. Jared down to 18. And Overlord takes down on Impending. Gonna go back to Malone. This Overlord is fresh, ready to rumble. The Beza plus Overlord is quite a bit of damage, threatening 10. I saw a Ryzen peeking out of Jesse Hill's hand, and with the Beanstalk it could be quite good here. I think Malone is pretty clearly in the driver's seat.
Oh, very much so. Hill needs to find a way to stabilize the board, because then his Up the Beanstalk will start turning into a lot of additional cards, and he can pull ahead on resources.
Alright, we're collecting some evidence now, so we're going to go searching with Analyze the Pollen. And this 1 mana spell is going to find Zur. And Zur is going to turn stuff into creatures. And the creatures are going to smash. It's a combo deck, Ross. Zur plus things.
Zur plus mana.
Yeah.
Thinking about how to tap, making sure he has the mana necessary to activate it twice afterwards.
Okay. Jesse could have responded to the Zur targeting the Leyline Binding with maybe a Leyline Binding of his own to kill it. At this stage, though, they all have hexproof now thanks to Zur, so Beza's the only thing that can really get tagged.
Yeah, this is a 21-point attack.
Yeah, Jesse has to fire something off here, and I believe it's just going to be Ride's End on Beza, draw a card, which is not horrible, and a sweeper on the following turn means he's still alive. He'll have an impending, or he'll have a Overlord off of Impending. Alright, Beza down, draw. I have to imagine he has a sweeper in hand if he'd been that Sunfall. I was imagining the Sunfall being necessary for surviving a Zur.
Yeah. So this is now 17 coming across.
Down to 3. Jared up to 35. There's one of those cards that I always kind of thought was going to get banned because of how ludicrous it is on the turns you cast it. I mean, it's so powerful.
I'm not
It's so
disagreeing
hard
with you.
to
It is
deal with.
completely ludicrous. And now, if Jesse has the sweeper, though, he clears the board. His Overlord comes off of Impending, and he's the one with a Beanstalk. So
Yeah.
things looking surprisingly good. But I'm with you, surprised that the Sunfall hit the graveyard. Because that seems like it would be the absolute best possible card in this situation.
But it wasn't the best possible card in the previous situation, which was before Zur. Zur of our own. Gonna animate Overlord and attack for 7, gain 7, and make 2 blockers. Maybe it's enough to get back in it. Can't imagine that it's gonna work long term. Yeah, so 7-point left swap. Jesse down to 10. Jared up to, or down to 28. Bouncing back and forth. You can see why some of these domain mirrors can last so long. Life totals just swing wildly.
But here, Malone is going to outpace this. Because Hill is only making 2 blockers a turn. Malone is attacking with 3 giant things a turn and gaining way more life than Hill is dealing.
Yeah. Also, just like a pair of spot removal spells, I think is maybe it's not lethal. It's like very close. All right. Now we're gonna go back to Malone. We'll see exactly how we play this turn.
Something like a temporary lockdown would do it.
Yep, cleaning up all the tokens.
It's a Day of Judgment. That one's not as good.
That's true. Well, Hulk Smash, just send them in. You don't have the kill. I think we got another Overlord. Oh, we have a binding. Maybe. Seems like we're very close.
If you don't have enough interaction to force through lethal, you might as well attack first. Make Jesse make his blocking decisions before knowing what exactly is in your hand.
Right.
So, like this attack from Malone, get your 2 everywheres.
It's a lot of everywheres.
Yeah, Malone has 17,000 mana. He needs a doppelgang. Or outrageous robbery.
What else? Oh, is that the Black X?
Yeah.
I love that card. I love that card. That's a cyborg card then. Jump there. Double block one of them. Take 6. Okay. Maybe we're baiting removal here? Because we can save the Overlord, but just... who cares, right?
Yeah, it's not that important. I think you'd rather deal with the opposing Overlord and Zur. I guess if you only have the 1 removal spell, maybe, but still a relatively weak use of it.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so 6 cross. 4 down.
Malone up to a casual 45.
Now the bird stops squawking. Here's Overlord. Probably going to impend because we can make it bigger for less mana with Zur. And it's not currently exposed to a sweeper.
Okay. But does... And we know Malone has a leyline binding, right?
I am not
I think
100%, but I thought so. Okay,
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so binding on the Zur. No more life gain for Jesse Hill. We'll see what he has here.
Okay, we can attack for 7 and make 2 blockers. But we're at 4. We're going to need a sweeper probably. That's an Overlord. Overlord's a redraw off of the Beanstalk.
Yeah. Sweeper or another Zur, I think, will keep Jesse Hill alive.
All right, we're gonna tap 3. Looks like we're gonna play another Zur, so we can give Death Touch to our up the Beanstalk. Is that anything?
Trades with one of the Overlords or the Leyland Binding. Might not be a trade Hill wants to make, but maybe it's a trade he has to make.
This is just an impended Overlord. I can't imagine that Malone. I don't know. Maybe the Zur with Hexproof is doing something, but I don't know. We're just attacking for so much next turn.
And there's not much Hill can do to prevent the damage output because the first thing he has to kill is the Zur. He can prevent the life gain, but at this point the life gain isn't all that important. Malone's already at 45. You're not winning this game by sneaking in extra damage. You're winning this game by taking complete control, finding your sweepers, and drawing too many cards with up the Beanstalk for Malone to keep up with.
Okay, here's Leyline Binding. We're going to draw a card. What card is that? Is that Elspeth Smite? Okay, so we're going to go Binding on Binding, but in response we can just animate it. And so it...
I think it's binding on the Zur, but Malone is animating the Overlord in response.
I see.
And the other binding.
Yep, and now it's a creature with Hexproof. But Zur no longer gives Lifelink or Death Touch? Or does the creature maintain those properties?
Zur, it's a static ability of Zur that gives all your enchantment creatures lifelink, Death Touch, and Hexproof, so... Jared's creatures are back to their base stats. I guess they're still power toughness equal to mana value if they've been animated by the Zur. That it retains.
Alright, we're going to attack for 7, make 2 Maws, Desperation attack. Making some chump blockers and gaining some life. Alright, going to go back to Malone. We have a Binding, an Overlord, and 2 Mods. All ready to go. Looks like a pollen to me. Gonna make me start sneezing. Now we're doing some quick maths. Only 1 land out for Jesse, so we can't use our... Alright, going to... Well, it looks like we were going to collect some evidence and then realized that we were unable to, so going to unwind. Guess just smash, huh? Just turn them sideways, bruh.
So there's 3 blockers for Jesse Hill.
Yeah, but Zur's got to block. Two bindings, 2 overlords. So I think all 3 creatures are force blocks, and so they're going to take 10 down to 1. Something like that.
Yeah, you have to block 3 big uns and take 10.
Alright, 2 more moths as well.
Okay, so the green overlord is a 5/5 right now because it was animated from Zur a while back, right? Or is that a 6/5 just came naturally off impending?
I think that one came naturally, but I don't know for sure because some of them are kind of popped out of their sleeve and some of them are not.
Yeah.
The difference is going to 2 versus 1, which doesn't matter.
Jared Malone adding up all the life they're gaining.
Not gaining that much life, right? Zergon.
Oh, Zer. Okay, so we're just adding up damage.
Okay. Zer dead. Ma's dead.
And now it's sweeper or bust. I think Jesse Hill has to be regretting putting that Sunfall into the graveyard with Surveil. That's a card that might have pulled him decisively ahead in this game.
Quick attack from the Overlord.
And 2 blockers, not nearly enough, with 7 lethal attackers on Malone's battlefield, so... Could another Zur do it? There's 3 things to animate as blockers.
I don't know what that is. Day of Judgment, maybe?
Could be.
Oh, wow. He found the sweeper. That's so sick. So, Jesse Hill, with this Beanstalk in play and a sweeper off the top, has completely decimated all of Jared's offense.
Yeah. And he gets a Zur back from the Leyline binding.
Huh. I wonder if we should have went Wrath first and then activate Zur and attack so that we get life. Is there any way to get pinged for 1?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It would be end step Leyline binding, untap Zur. But I don't think Malone has another binding in hand. And there's an Overlord of the Mistmoors that's going to generate some blockers anyway. So.
Well, it's comeback time. We know Jared has a sweeper as well, but Jesse has enough resources to kind of easily play around it, right? Never have to put too much into the danger.
Yeah, and I think that's the benefit of playing this turn the way Jesse did. By attacking with the Overlord first and then wrathing, you leave the other Overlords impended and don't expose yourself too much to an opposing sweeper.
Yeah, Jared draws Day of Judgment, kind of shrugs and says, yeah, I guess I'll cast it. I guess I'll blow up everything. Boom. See ya.
Okay, so now it's going to be a couple turns before these Overlords are creatures. And I think there's another Day of Judgment in Jared Malone's hand. Looks like there might be another Zur in Jesse Hill's hand. That could get awkward into the day if Jesse goes all in and animates, binding and the Overlords. They'll make a giant attack. Life totals will swap, but then Jared will Day of Judgment everything back and get his Zur that's under the Leyline binding back on the battlefield.
Gonna analyze some pollen. Malone gonna go searching. These are the types of games and situations where I love playing one Atraxa when you're playing Analyze the Pollen. But didn't see too many people doing that today.
Jesse has 1 in his sideboard. Neither player with 1 in the main.
Probably come up in game 2 at some point, but gonna find Overlord of the Mistmoors. We can hard cast it. Make a bunch of stuff. Can also just impend it for 4.
Looks like that's what Malone is doing.
Players just continuously using impending instead of hard casting, and I think it's just correct most of the time to play around sweepers and removal and things of that nature. Another Zur. Another one. Well, this might fall right into Jared Malone's second sweeper. See if he wants to animate more than one thing.
It will certainly animate the Overlord of the Mistmoors. Past that, it becomes more questionable. Okay, there's Overlord of the Hauntwoods.
Okay, so we're doing both. Just 2 lands in hand, so looking to try to close the game quickly before a Wrath is found. We know there already is a Wrath.
Lush Portico puts a card in the graveyard. Not sure what that was. Probably
It's an island. I think it's one of them funky islands.
Yeah.
He's got a funky plains up there too.
So this is a 12-point attack. Jesse Hill going to go back up to 13. Malone will fall to 19 from 31. Life totals in just one fell swoop almost back to level.
Okay. Jesse Hill turning the corner. We know there's going to be another reset here, though. 4-point attack. If you're Jesse, this is like a pretty standard pre-wrath attack or
Yeah.
whatever. I'd probably just trade.
Yeah, Jesse's chuckling, and I'm with you. I probably would have just traded, seeing the writing on the wall here.
Okay, but DOJ does come in and gets rid of all these creatures. Now what? Blew everything up. Now win the game.
And now it's Overlord of the Mistmoors up for Malone against an Up the Beanstalk for Hill. But the Overlord with 2 time counters on it still.
Another one.
Another Zur. This one will animate Leyline Binding.
I'm not going to do the Beanstalk, though. Doesn't want to expose it, I guess. Here's a rides in, though, and that's going to take care of... Oh, no, it's not.
No, just has to take care of the Zur first.
Yeah, so no lifelink gained.
Malone down to 13, Hill up to 15. And both players pretty empty at this point.
Yeah.
Just a land is the last card for Hill. He is Hellbent. Malone with 2 cards in hand after his draw step.
All right. Get lost. See ya. Sir, back
lost.
online.
Now he can animate his Overlord, attack Jesse Hill down to 2, because it's a 7/7 when animated with Zur. Make 2 2/1s. This is 3 lethal attackers next turn.
Okay.
Hill needs either Overlord into something or a sweeper. I don't know how many sweepers Hill has left. Only 2 Day of Judgment, 1 the Sunfall in the main deck.
It's a land. And that's going to do it for game number 1. Jared Malone takes a marathon game 1 away from Jesse Hill, who looked like he was clawing back in it. Day of Judgment came up clutch both times. Non-lethal Zur falls to Day of Judgment right after.
Yeah, it looked like Malone might come up 1 damage short in that game, but he was able to recover, use his own sweepers to re-level the battlefields without giving up too much of that life advantage, and then just kind of eke over the finish line there in game 1.
All right, so on Jesse Hill's side of things, they're both playing Domain, but they don't have the same exact 75. What tools does Jesse have that he can bring in here to help out in the mirror?
So Jesse's sideboard is 1 Atraxa Grand Unifier, 1 Elish Norn Mother of Machines, 1 Elspeth Smite, 2 Negate, 2 Nissa Ascended Animist, 3 Obstinate Baloth, 1 Paw Patch Formation, 2 Rest in Peace, 1 Stock Up, 1 Terra Sunder. I like the Atraxa. I like the Elish Norn. I like the Negates. I like the Nissas. I like the Paw Patch Formation. I like the Stock Up. I like the Terra Sunder. That's 9 cards. Quite a lot of very solid options for Jesse Hill here.
Yep. On the other side of things, Jared Malone with Domain is going to be interested in doing pretty much the same thing, I'd wager.
Jared's sideboard is 1 Elish Norn Mother of Machines, 2 Elspeth Smite, 2 Negate, 1 Nissa Ascended Animist, 3 Obstinate Baloth, 1 Pest Control, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Terra Sunder, 1 the Stone Brain. I like the Elish Norn. I like the Negates. I like the Nissa. I like the Terra Sunders. I don't know how I feel about the Stone Brain.
Yeah.
I think with just 1, it's not worth it, but taking Zur could be really, really nice.
Taking Zur does sound really nice.
If you're very far ahead, you could take Day of Judgment. There's only 1 Sunfall in both lists, so you really limit their ability to sweep you and catch back up. So I think there are going to be some times when the Stone Brain is good, but I'm not sure it's worth it. We'll see how Jared Malone feels about that card. But both players bringing in more disenchant effects and good removal. Nissa, which is a great way to both be a disenchant effect itself and a threat. Negates, which are the best card at protecting your position if you're ahead.
Yeah.
And then Elish Norn, which is just an absolute haymaker, doubling your triggers while stopping your opponents. The fact that it can't get Leyline binded, really important. Also very difficult to rides end.
Yep. Get Lost seems like it's going to be at a premium here in some of these post-sideboard games where there's just a ton of weird enchantments and weird sideboard cards that need answers. As these players are shuffling up here for game number 2, we're Apex Gaming. We're here in Caldwell, Ohio. We're running a $5,000 standard open, and we're in the finals. 2 players left. They've each qualified for the Apex Invitational, as well as the regional championship. And I said, what I say earlier? I said Minneapolis. Where's it actually at?
So are we right at the end of the season? I think it still might be Minneapolis and Hartford. It's either that or
Okay,
the next season, which I'm not sure where those are.
sure. Yeah. So these players have locked up a big cash prize as well, and now we're just looking for the custom playmat winner and champion to crown. If you'd like to learn about the Apex series, you can check out our website, apexgaming.gg, and find the dates for our future Apex Con events, as well as where to find an Apex Invitational qualifier for near you, so you can play one at maybe a store near you and come play in our Invitational in November. All right, they're still taking a minute, so you know what time it is, Ross. It's time to get paid. It's time to pay the bills. How do we do that? You want to take one of these ad reads?
Want to thank some sponsors?
Yeah, why don't you try Ultimate Guard? Go for it.
We are sponsored by Ultimate Guard, a market leader in gaming supplies.
Oh, yeah.
From the katana sleeves to the boulder deck box. Go to your local store and see if they carry Ultimate Guard products today.
We're also sponsored by Moxfield. Moxfield is a great deck building website, moxfield.com. You can use that to build and share decks with your friends. All of the deck lists that we use here on Apex will be posted on Moxfield in the next week. SpiceRack.gg, great piece of tournament software we've been working with for about a year now. We've partnered with them to bring you all these tournaments, but you can check out SpiceRack.gg to find any tournament near you. And if you're looking to host some tournaments, SpiceRack.gg is the place. They have great backend tools if you're a tournament organizer. Last but not least, you've seen a couple of videos already, but we are sponsored by Once Upon a Galaxy, the mobile game that you can find in your app store. Once Upon a Galaxy is an asynchronous auto battler featuring quite a few cool cast of characters throughout human theology or whatever. Just lots of Hercules battling the Loch Ness Monster, that type of thing. Very fun game. All right, players here are just about ready for game number 2, so let's head on down. Hope there's no mulligans. Jared Malone on your left, up a game. Looks like they're both taking a mulligan, so be low on resources-ish.
Not for long.
Yeah.
Up the Beanstalk ensures not for long. Though there are more answers to Up the Beanstalk in the post-sideboard games. Pop Hatch Formation and Terra Sunder.
Yeah. Doesn't it just feel horrible to play a Disenchant on a Beanstalk, though?
It doesn't feel great. But when you're playing the Mirror,
yeah,
it feels a little bit better because you know you can recoup that card disadvantage pretty easily.
true. All right, so finals right now for the standard invitational qualifier, 5K. Tomorrow, we're going to be playing Modern. We're going to do it all again. Today we had 105 players, and I'm thinking we're going to beat that tomorrow. Modern's usually a little more popular around here.
We'll see.
We'll see indeed. One last hurrah for Underworld Breach. Jesse grimacing at his hand. What kind of hands do you hate seeing with Domain?
Hands that struggle to make land drops. Hands that struggle to draw cards.
Looks like we're going to 5. I used to play Esper Control with a lot of Scry lands back in the day. Would regularly keep 6, sometimes 7 land hands if I knew the matchup. Hitting your land drops is very important.
Yeah. And on 5 cards, it's going to be hard for Jesse Hill to do that.
Yeah, but 3 land Beanstalk, you know, that's good enough.
Yeah. If I'm Malone, I'm killing every Beanstalk on site.
Yeah, it's on site.
My opponent has mulligan twice, and I want to punish that as much as possible. This deck, goes from attacking for 4 to attacking for 20 very quickly.
Sometimes way, way more. I think, what was the biggest attack we saw last round? Like 35? 2 Leyline Bindings,
19 or so.
White Overlord, Green Overlord.
Yeah.
A couple 2/1s.
Yeah, it was like 28-ish, 29.
All right, so looks like we are done mulliganing. Jesse going to put some on the bottom, and we are ready to go. He's going to be on the play. Let's see if he has The fabled up the beanstalk start.
Oof, doesn't even have a surveil land on turn 1.
No, that's the gold garbage land.
Wastewood Verge.
That one's black facing on the front. Oh, beanstalk time.
Razor Verge Thicket into Beanstalk. Okay. Does Malone have the answer?
Doesn't seem like it. I feel like this would be a pretty quick. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, just straight.
Harrison.
Okay. Alternatively, has multiple answers and was trying to figure out the best one. Beanstalk down. Jesse Hill.
Plus a card for Jesse Hill, so he's one to the good there.
All right, Verge.
Blood Farm Verge, so that's going to make white.
Yeah, I don't think this is a legal play. Can you go stop him?
No, Wastewood Verge starts on green, so he's good.
Oh, the black greens. Oh, right. It's the black-white one that starts on black.
Yeah.
I already said that earlier. I'm just tired.
It's been a long day.
We're almost done. We're not quite done yet. We got to crown a champion.
Here's a Beanstalk for Malone, so this is an ideal start for him. Answer your Beanstalk, play one of my own. The Overlord might get a little dicey if Hill can have a Zur follow-up, but as long as Malone can answer the next couple threats from Hill, he should run away with this game pretty easily.
Paw patch. So
Okay.
the war over Beanstalk is commencing. Both players coming very prepared.
Overlord of the Hauntwoods ticks down to 2 counters. And back to Malone.
All right. A little bit of an awkward mana situation for Jared. Doesn't show double green just yet. Has, is that Hedge Maze?
I think it's a Hedge Maze.
I think that's Meticulous Archive, actually.
It is, yeah, you might be right. It is a pretty long name.
Yep. And then puts a Meticulous Archive into the graveyard from the Chevelle and a pass back. So no rush here for Jared. Not under any pressure, really. That's a Nissa. That's pretty pressuring.
So fully paid for the Nissa. It's going to have 7 counters.
I think it was 6 was paid for it. I don't know.
Yeah, it does look like 7. Is that only 6 mana?
Well, it came in with, well, it should be 5 up to 6. That's
yes.
right. Okay, great.
Yeah, so paid 2 life plus 6 mana. It's going to start with 5 loyalty plus make a 6/6. Malone has the Get Lost for the Nissa, but there is now a 6/6 on the battlefield he has to reckon with. Hill down to only 1 card in hand.
All right, and impending goes off. Some map tokens, and we're going to be back to Jared Malone.
I think the ideal for Malone is to take a hit from the token and then sweep the board next turn when the Overlord is now a creature.
Yeah, sounds good.
So maybe spend this turn ramping if you have an impended Overlord. Okay, has an Elish Norn.
Or just play Unbeatable Mommy.
The
Unbeatable
maps
Mommy.
can pump this Nissa token bigger than the Elish Norn.
Yeah, but none of your cards work anymore. Just never, just take it once.
Yeah, the binding doesn't work, so that one goes away.
Map.
Overlord, not great. It's just a 5 mana 6/5.
Yeah, it really needs to find like a Get Lost or, I don't know. Rides In can do it too.
Rides End, Get Lost. He's already, he used Paw Patch formation, so he has 1 Terrace Under in the deck that can do it. Or a Sweeper, but Sweeper would be an awkward answer since he's going to have multiple creatures on the battlefield. And decides to put Overlord into the graveyard.
I think that's a hard to make play, but a good play. I don't know if Surveil's supposed to trigger. Does Mommy stop Surveil?
I think it's just creatures and artifacts. Oh, no, it is permanent.
Okay. Let's go talk to the judge real quick and let him know. I believe Garrison might have just seen it as well, but we'll see.
Okay. So, card goes back on top.
Yep. Well, I don't think any cards are known.
Yeah.
I know that Jared really doesn't want the top card to change, right? And like, this is only I mean, this is not beneficial for Jesse, right? He obviously he saw the card. He wasn't supposed to see it or whatever.
Yeah, looks like we're going to randomize that portion of the deck, so it'll be an unknown card to both players on the top.
All right. So Jesse gonna receive a warning for I don't know, something, doing something you're not supposed to
Looking
do
at extra
something.
cards.
Okay. And now Jared's turn.
To put it in the graveyard too, that could just end up being a different GRE.
I was thinking it was something different because he was resolving a trigger that he thought was going on the stack, and I don't think that counts as looking at extra cards. It's like a game rule violation, maybe. It doesn't matter. Surveil land for Malone. Gets 2 surveils if he wants them. Is that a wagon?
That is Lumbering World Wagon, the one of.
Puts that into the grave.
One of the few differences between these two lists.
Yeah, one of them's got class. One of them's got the wagon. See if this Elshnorn is going to pop off. Malone getting on tap with Elshnorn, kind of wild. We're going to start with Binding. It's going to take care of both things. And Jesse packs it in, says, you know what? Whatever the top card was, it was supposed to be a land. You got it, bud. And Jared Malone takes it 2-0 in the Domain Mirror. A faster Domain Mirror than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, mulligans to 5 can help that. Game 1 was a rather intense affair.
Right. All right, well, I'm going to go get our champion, Jared Malone, and bring him in here for you to interview. I'll be right back.
Okay. Talk to Jared. Get his thoughts on Standard and Domain. And then Todd and I will wrap up this show and get out of here. So, as we mentioned on the broadcast today, Todd and I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time with the second of this weekend's Apex Invitational qualifiers. And tomorrow's format of choice will be Modern. Right before the BNR, could be the last chance for our players to enjoy the wonders of Underworld Breach. But here we go. Well, oh no, he already gave you the playmat? Man, Todd, always stepping on my toes here. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And so let's talk about this Domain deck. Obviously, it won the Pro Tour. It then had a really big target on its back for the following weeks. And when you look at online data, it really kind of receded. We saw a lot more red pop up. We saw Pixie stay around. And Domain seemed like it might have just been kind of the right deck at the right time for the Pro Tour. But then at this tournament today, it was the dominant archetype. There were 3 copies in the top 8, along with another Beanstalk deck in Golgari, and obviously both of you in the finals playing it. So is this a deck that you've been on for a while, and why did you play it despite its diminishing results leading into this tournament?
Yeah, so I've played it for a little while now. I've tried to get used to the triggers. The triggers are ridiculous. Definitely an issue with the deck. It's very hard to keep track of. I know that online it seems like it receded as Control really made a reemergence. So Control is one of the trickier matches, and I didn't see it today. So I can attribute that to some of my success. I think the deck selection was primarily my brother wanted to play Control, and I wanted to cover his back with his bad matchups, and he was kind of covering mine. So.
Okay, well, seemed to work out for you. I'm not going to take up too much more of our time, so yeah, he's got. We can show it off. So we'll show off this playmat. This is the playmat that all of our Apex Invitational qualifiers are going to receive, or Apex Invitational qualifier champions, I should say. So congrats on earning that, and we look forward to seeing you in November at the Invitational.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, let's get Todd back in here. Let's wrap this up because we are hungry and it's time for some etc.
Yeah. I got the wings, you got the etc. Either way, you can go ahead. We're kind of lackadaisical on this part. Appreciate you. Congrats again.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Let's go, Todd.
Okay. So, to recap, Domain finals, 2 of them. Jared Malone, champion. Jesse Hill also qualifying for everything.
Yeah. Standard is kind of a 3-headed monster right now with Domain, with the bounce decks, and with the red decks. And Domain tends to do better against the bounce decks, bounce better against red, and red better against Domain. Red really underperformed today, and that opened the door for Domain to dominate.
Yeah, I mean, mono red, I think specifically too, is a bit harder for Domain versus the mice decks because the burn can just finish you off in spots where the mice deck can't quite get over that hump thanks to all that removal. Anywho, we had 10 rounds today. I'm pooped. We're going to call it there. Tomorrow, Modern, 5K on the line. We're running it all back. Ross is going to be in the booth. I'm going to be in the booth. We're going to be here all day. So, I don't know. Take a nap. We'll see you in 12 hours or whatever, yeah?
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.